dalam Borak Peranda. Dan kita tahu kita dah lama tak bersiaran.
Lama kita tak rekod sebenarnya.
Tak, sebenarnya kita ada rekod.
Kita ada rekod at least
Tapi dia kena santau.
Ya. Ada dua benda yang kita rekod.
Kita takkan sebut filem-filem mana yang kita rekod dan kena santau tu.
It's not just film tau. There was also the Johnny Depp Amber Heard punya trial.
Oh, right.
But it's just impossible to talk about because the legal implications, how it's a web of things. Kan?
Right.
So
We're not lawyers. But we were ardent followers of the trial.
But yeah, we follow everything from beginning to end. So anyway, this Borak Peranda kali ni will be about a movie that we saw recently.
Yes.
And the thing is, banyak gila movie kita terlepas sebenarnya. Contohnya banyak gila
banyak.
Okay, here's the thing. The last movie we saw before this one was Spilled Gravy kan?
No.
Was
the
it?
Menu.
The Menu, okay. Before the menu then.
Little Zombies.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a huge gap.
Yeah.
Sebab kita usually apa yang keluar kita akan tengok. Maybe kita boleh cerita sikit lah. What have we been up to sebenarnya?
Okay, sebab bulan Disember saya telah dijemput oleh Japan Foundation untuk ke Jepun sempena literature exchange program.
And then sebelum tu juga memang busy dengan kerja lah sebenarnya.
Betul.
Like earlier this year, cerita apa yang kita keluar? Hijab Kabul was one of them.
Hijab Kabul di View yang masih boleh ditonton di View.
Yes.
It's a very very fun story. I think we had a lot of fun doing it as well.
And on my end, right now, we're working on another adaptation. Macam She Was Pretty was also a Korean drama punya adaptation. This also is another adaptation called W. Yeah, so that one is ongoing. Memang tengah proses menulis. And then there's also another project which is too early to announce.
Satu lagi yang kita akan masuk writers room tak lama lagi.
Yeah, satu lagi yang kita akan masuk writers room. And also a horror film that that's all I can say about it at this point. Sebab yelah movie kan. Movie kita buat banyak dah sebenarnya. Cuma it's dependent on funding dia lepas ke tak kan.
Betul.
So this one is another case like that. It is another feature film that I'm working on. But sama ada jadi ke tidak tu harapnya menjadilah. Amin. So on your end ada buku apa semua
Sebab tahun ni PBA KL dalam bulan Mei, jadi sedang mengejar deadline supaya buku boleh diterbitkan ketika Pesta Buku Antarabangsa Kuala Lumpur.
Alright,
okay, buku, selain daripada buku, kita sedang cuba sedaya upaya untuk akhirnya membuat Gantung the Movie tahun ini. Tetapi kita sedang menunggu sebab ramai pelakon-pelakon yang terlibat. Jadi kita menunggu supaya supaya jadual semua orang tu selari. Okey, jadi hari ini kita sebenarnya nak borak pasal apa? Hari ini kita nak berbicara ataupun kita nak borak tentang filem James Cameron yang terbaru, iaitu yang terkini, iaitu Avatar.
Avatar, Way of Water. Avatar,
The Way of Water.
So, kenapa sejak start tengok movie balik ni, apa Avatar ni baru kita nak borak rasa-rasanya for you?
I had to see the visual spectacle. Confession, I have never watched the first one. I tak pernah tengok the first Avatar, which is going to make this conversation interesting because you have watched the first Avatar.
Yes.
I did not, and I went in watching this. Can we call it a sequel?
Rather than a sequel, it's a continuation, I would say.
What's the difference?
Avatar 1 to 5, if they get to make it, it's one big movie.
Cuba lukis.
Maybe tak lukis, but I think I know how to illustrate it. One second.
Macam mana?
Okay, so here's the thing. I guess the thing that you were talking about is commonly seen in like detective stories. Not exactly detective, but it's procedural lah. Whereby this is the Millennium Trilogy. The most famous of it is the girl with the dragon tattoo lah. It's been made into a movie twice.
Okay.
All these are standalone. But there are enough things left over from a character arc punya point of view to be carried over to the next book, and the next book, and the next book.
Yeah.
But within the books themselves are completed stories lah. Okay, so with Avatar,
Oh my god.
this is like the Wheel of Time punya series. I haven't read all of them,
Right.
but just to illustrate, it's a common thing with fantasy books lah. You cannot read any of this on their own.
Oh, faham.
Yeah, because say if you start with book number 7,
Mampus.
you're not gonna understand.
Tak tahu apa-apa pun.
Yeah, and whatever you read in one book is not paid off in the same book. It's paid off in another book. It's set up in book 1 to be paid off in book 4.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I'm guessing Avatar is going for that juga.
The fantasy approach.
Yeah.
But you can watch 2 without watching 1. But it would just be nicer and richer for you if you had watched the first one. Kan?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because then you see how Jade came to be,
Right.
how he ended up in the tribe, and how he
just because you can watch the second one without watching the first one doesn't mean you should. Nah, macam
Yeah.
tu. Kan?
Yeah. Let's pedal back a bit. What are your thoughts?
James Cameron still has it. The storytelling was organic in the sense that kita tak rasa macam selepas 20 minit ini kena berlaku. Selepas 20 minit lagi ini kena berlaku. Dan selepas 20 minit ini kena berlaku. Tak ada. James Cameron is an old-timer. He's an organic storytelling kind of guy. So what he does is that he creates characters, and in that moment throw the character in a situation, and based on that character, how would he react, and that would carry the story forward. So that was one thing that I noticed. Although there was a bit of a lull, I felt somewhere when it involved.
Dia start jumpa the water clan
Tak.
No.
I felt that he picked up masa tu. Masa dia jumpa water clan tu, I rasa dia pick up. Tapi again, maybe ni personal preference lah. Sebab the humans in the story suck. Well, of course, they were the villains in the story. But like, they're horrible. They're just horrible people. And I was more interested to know about the clan, the water clan. Jadi bila dia dah bertemu dengan water clan tu, I was more interested to know how they are going to adapt. Tetapi bila
It didn't feel like cuti-cuti Pandora for you.
No.
Okay.
Cuti-cuti apa?
Pandora, the planet.
Cuti-cuti Pandora. I suka part tu. Oh, you rasa lull masa tu?
No, I didn't feel lull then. I thought people would feel
Tak.
kalau ada yang low point dekat situ.
Tak. I sangat suka. Lagi pula, I think that is where most of the visual spectacle came from. But to me, it was good to watch once.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch it again. Will you watch it again?
I feel like I could watch it again, but the same way I could watch Dune again.
Oh, but I can watch Dune again.
Like I macam kena tunggu timing, then bila mood tu sampai, then I can watch it again.
Oh, tapi I understand what you mean though.
It's
Macam-
not like Maverick.
It's not Maverick,
or
it's not the Batman.
Hmm.
Dia bukan habis dan terus you nak tengok lagi sekali. You know what recent movie made me feel that way? Yang lepas habis, I macam somewhat nak terus tengok lagi sekali. Glass Onion.
Glass Onion.
Yes,
alright.
Glass Onion, I felt like macam after dia dah habis, I'm gonna watch you again sometime soon. Yeah.
I asked you this after we went out. What would you say are the highs and the lows of this movie?
Yeah, the highs was the world building of the new water clan. The lows I felt were I felt that the motivation of the villain was not that his motivation is strong. The way everyone kind of band together to turutkan ataupun like materialize his wants, I felt that I couldn't entirely buy it. That was my low lah. Which is actually, come to think of it, maybe not that big a deal. Mana lah nak tahu, like upon second watching I might change my mind. Sometimes that happens. Because maybe there were so many things to take in that you don't realise sebenarnya benda-benda ni dia dah tanam along the way. Which I believe is something that James Cameron is able to do. So, would you recommend Avatar Way of Water if people are still skeptical of watching it. Number one. Number two, must it be watched in 3D?
I wouldn't recommend Avatar The Way of Water the way I would recommend people to drink water, because one is absolutely necessary.
And two, macam, it's your choice.
It's your choice if you know what's good for you. Okay, jokes aside. Would I recommend Avatar The Way of Water? Yeah, definitely. Like, if you feel the first one was underwhelming, I think the second one would really either make or break it for you. Because if you say you saw Avatar 1 and you never want to see another Avatar movie ever again, you're probably like shortchanging yourself. Because historically, James Cameron is like a master at sequels.
Right.
I think you should really watch Avatar 2, if nothing else, just to see if you've been looking for another Star Wars or another Star Trek,
Dune.
If you're looking at another one of those movies and you feel like nowadays macam dah tak ada lah cerita macam tu, you gotta give Avatar a shot.
Right.
Because you might find it here.
Must it be watched in 3D?
If you have that kind of money to spare, yeah, why not? Because it is a very rich experience. It is the way that it is intended to be watched. Like the way Maverick is meant for the big screen and not your phones or your TV screen.
I would recommend it to people who cannot stand 3D, who have like maybe astigmatism or vertigo.
I don't like 3D glasses because to begin with I already pakai glasses. How to say? I wouldn't say it must be watched in 3D. I think if you don't watch it in 3D, you still get 100%. But if you watch it in 3D, it's like 150%. I would say, yeah.
I would disagree. As much as I am not that big of a fan of wearing those 3D glasses, not anymore. I used to when I was younger. Now it feels a bit tiring. Tapi, especially when you're introduced to the Water Clan, I feel that you only get that full experience when you watch it in 3D.
Yeah.
I feel. And yeah, I feel that it would be more immersive that way.
Which is why I think it's 150% if you watch it in 3D and IMAX. And without it, I mean, I guess you still get the action scenes, you get the thrill, you get the drama. But in 3D, it's just a more immersive experience. So we will be watching the subsequent ones, would we? Yeah.
More things to look forward to.
So, Avatar 3 should come out in 2 years' time, maybe less.
Okay.
And hopefully it's successful enough for them to greenlight 4 and 5. That's about it.
Yeah. Did we get our conclusion already? We did, right? Just now?
Yes. How to watch Avatar. Avatar is one big movie. Yes, I think we got it. Okay.